Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim. If you're new here and you enjoy today's content, I hope you would consider subscribing and clicking on the like button. All engagement helps my channel to grow. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for continuing to watch my videos and enjoying them and coming back week to week. Alright, so before I can get into the drawings for February, which I can't believe it's already February, let me run through and let you know how I did with January's deck of Want to Read. So, let us get back into those. Let me find them. So the first draw that I had for January was a mood read. I know the cover looks different, but it is the same book. This is Dark Lover for my Romance-opoly readathon. It's a year-long readathon that I am involved in. And this was the first book that starts that series. And I'm also doing the J.R. Ward read-through, reading all of her books. That was a project I took on for myself. And this is the first book out of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. And I got that right for the first time. Whoop, whoop. So, yeah. So I kind of double-dipped with that to make sure I am reading both for my own read-along and also for the Romance-opoly as well. So, book one, I was successful on. It was a mood read. Check off on that. So I did manage to get one book read, so stats 1. For the 10 of Hearts, I had She Likes Pina Coladas. I did manage to get this one read as well, and it was also, I believe, from my Romance-opoly as well. So again, I was able to read. Wrong book. Not doing too well. This is She Likes Pina Coladas. This is the right book. It was also for Romance-opoly, for space there as well. And it was also put on here. This was for genre. I believe it was a romance. So I did manage to read it. Very good. So yes, the right book this time. This was by Brittany Nicole. And I did actually highly enjoy it. I was very surprised because I was going into it kind of hesitant, but I did really enjoy it. Not a huge fan of the trope of miscommunication. That was all over that book, but all in all, I did enjoy it. For the clubs, if I can get the right book this time, set somewhere I've been. Not a big shocker. I did not read this one. I don't even think I had time to pick this massive chunker up, so it'll go back on my shelf over there to be read. So it's the Walking Dead Compendium. It's probably be more of a summer read because work is just not allowing me to get such a big chunker because there's not a audio to go along with the graphic novel. So I just have to have a large chunk of time to be able to dedicate to such a massive book that doesn't have an audio component to it. So I'm not that shocked when that book came up that I wasn't going to be able to read it. But that's okay. And then another romance. I just didn't have time to get to this one. This was for Jack of Spades. It was a TBR wheel. So a lot of my unread books that was on my physical TBR. This was one of them. And I just didn't have time to get to it. So it will go back over on my shelf so that I can actually get to it when I have more time to get to it. And then the one that was similar color scheme over there, The Girl with All the Gifts, I have started it. As you can tell, I was making more progress this week. I just ran out of time, so it's rolling over into February. And I love this book. I'm taking my time with it. I'm loving it. I'm annotating it. Not as heavily as I was at the beginning because there was so much info dumping at the beginning. But I am loving, loving, loving this book. It reminds me because I have started watching The Last of Us. And I know that show, the television series, is based off of the game series. This reminds me a lot of the concept, so I don't know if this book came out before the game or the game came out before the book. But there is a lot of similarities, so I don't know if the book was inspired by that or not. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. A lot of ethical stuff about it, that questions about humanity and what we're willing to do to get a cure, if there can be a cure found for it. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm hoping to finish this over the weekend because I am filming this a little bit early during the week. So yeah, but we shall see if I can finally get this out early February. I have less or around 100 pages or so to finish this out. I am heavily enjoying it though, so we shall see what I think But I definitely predict this, unless it ends horribly and just falls flat. Right now, this is a 5-star prediction to finish this book out. But yes, that is all. I need to set these books aside, and then we'll get started with our draws. Alright, for those who are new, I have all of my prompts, challenges, TBR, physical TBR, all that stuff on my wheels. I just don't have room in here to set up an actual physical board, nor with my cats who like to shred things. Leave that alone. So, I do it electronically, and if you've been around, you've seen some of my tech likes to go wonky. So, we shall see. Before we get started with that, go through some books that I would like to get onto this TBR. So the Bone Season read-along has started. So the ebook, The Pale Dreamer, is the novella that starts the series off. So I need to get that on the, hopefully the deck of Want to Read, if at all possible, in one of the slots. If not, that's one of the books I do need to get read, because we're doing one of the books a month. So that shouldn't be too terrible. I think it only has 4 chapters, so that shouldn't be terrible. Another book that you'll see this video after my Romanceopoly. One book that I need to get on to, if at all possible, is called Heartstone. This was from my Romanceopoly. L. Catherine White. It's a fantasy romance. I believe might be an older YA fantasy romance. So if I can fit it on there, it needs to be on there if at all possible. For another book off of that, because I do 3 rolls on the Romanceopoly, just trying to keep it an even number of books that I think I can get read. This was another book, Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Read the Illuminae files, and hopefully this will go as fast as those books did. I know they're chunkers, but their writing style, usually I read them fairly quickly. So I'm hoping it proves true with this one. So this is a sci-fi, YA sci-fi book. So I'm hoping it will read fairly quickly as well. Because I absorb the Illuminae files like that. So if it proves anywhere like those, it should go really quickly as well. And then the last book from Romanceopoly that I would like to get on to this TBR, or Want to Read TBR, is my mystery thriller. This is Obsession and Death by J.D. Robb, which is Nora Roberts' other pen name. I don't know a lot going back into it. It's a murder mystery or thriller mystery, something along those lines. So I needed to get this one, if at all possible. If not, these are additional books that I need to read. Then also on my own personal read-along that I do on my own Discord group, Books, Cats, and Chaos, continuing with the second book out of the J.R. Ward Black Dagger Brotherhood series. This is Lover Internal. So we're following with this book, Rage, and following his story with Mary Luce and seeing what goes on with him. So that's the next book we'll try to fit in. And then, excuse me, and my buddy read that I'm also having on my Discord group. We're finishing out the trilogy, The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. So potentially there are 6 books that I would like to fit on to my deck of Want TBR. If not, I could potentially have 8 to 10 books that I would like to get read. That could be challenging. So we will see what my wheels and cards have in store for me. So let's get to the pulls. Let's see what it has in store for me. All right, this is the fun part. And let me get I want to show you what I did before I get to shuffling. I've started up my reading journal, and hopefully I'm going to get better at keeping it. If I can find that page in here. So I've created, hopefully you can see it, on this page is all my rules. So it's a little bit easier to follow my own rules. I made my cards, so just a cheat sheet. All right, so let me shuffle up. Do a couple rounds. So if I get an ace of any suit, then I believe, make sure I'm telling myself right. Yes, any ace. So there are 4 aces in the deck. I reshuffle all the cards that I've previously drawn back into the deck. And then if I get either of the two jokers, then that's an extra draw. Those are the two big things that you guys need to know. And then the rest are self-explanatory. All right, do one more shuffle and we're gonna get started. Super excited. I'm glad I'm finding my reading mojo again, because for a while I had lost it. So, super. I lied. One last go. All right. Draw number 1. So I'm thinking, we'll see, start off with 3 and we'll see how the deck goes, because again I already have 6 books already. If I can fit some of those on, we'll go up to 5 draws. Got rolls and draws. 5 draws, but we're going to start off with 3 and then see where we go from there. Alright, so draw number 1. Alright. So a 7 of diamonds. These are physical aspects. Okay. So this has to be an audible. An audible audiobook. So an audiobook, so it could be, so I'll take that for either Scribd, Audible, something, so an audiobook aspect. So an audiobook, actually, I know which one I will do. I will do for the audiobook, J.R. Ward's Lover Eternal. I have the audiobook for this on Scribd, so this will actually work for that. So doubled up there, so that will definitely work. So I can do that. So draw 1, doubled up, so definitely can do that, like that. All right, so book 1 has been allocated. Draw number 2. Got King of Hearts. All right, so that is a random color generator. Okay, that's always very interesting. All right, so let me go and find a color generator. We'll make sure it works, because some of them I've gone to before and they've not worked. All right, so let me get my recording going with this one as well. And I'll show you on here as well. So here we go. So this says Traffic Gray B. So looks like a dark gray. Alright, so for the kind of grayish, dark gray color, I'm going to use it because it has this gray background and it kind of goes into that gray black, and that's what I'm going to use. So this is Uprooted by Naomi Novik, and I've been dying to read Uprooted. It is also one of my priority books for the 23 in 2023. So yeah, I've been dying to get into it and to understand if I'm really liking Naomi Novik's writing, and if Spinning Silver was just a fluke, which me and retellings can be kind of a fluke, never know. So I'm dying to see and read this book and tell if that was true or not. So again, that was a harder color to match than I thought it would be, because most of my books are black. Not a gray, not a grayish. It's dark blues, purples, and blacks. Not a true gray among them, or they're very pale grays or silvers. So that was more of a challenge than I thought it was going to be. All right, so another book added. All right, so there's that card. So we'll put Uprooted. So draw number 3. See how we are going. A joker! We get a +1 plus another draw. So we're going to shuffle my deck. I'll put it in and shuffle again. All right. So we were at 3, so we'll do 4, because right now we've already added in another book, so we'll go to 4 draws instead of 3. We'll see if I can get any of these others on. So potential 6 books if I can't get any of these others on. All right. This is the fun part of the game. Makes it interesting. Okay, jacks. What are jacks? Pick from my physical TBR. And I have no control of what book it picks. right, Fortuna Sworn. This one is Fortuna Sworn by K.J. Seton. Again, I picked it up, started reading it last year, but again, or end of last school year, I should say. My years are a little bit different than most people. I count my years by school years versus typical years. And then a lot of stuff went on and I kind of went into reading slump. Not that the book was bad, I just lost the headspace in order to read. And as you know, this year hasn't been much better. But it's a fairly short book, so I don't foresee it being a too terrible task if I can get into it. Have the time to read it. I don't think it's going to be a bad book, because what I do remember of it of when I was reading it around my surgery time of last February, which is ironic, it's about the same time when I picked up the book. I was just in a medicated state, but what I do remember of it, I really was enjoying it. It started off fast. I was in a medicated state, so not the greatest headspace to be reading, so, but I was enjoying it, so I can't wait to dive into it, so we shall see. Yay! So that's 3. Let's get our 4th draw. Let's see if I can get some more of these books on my TBR, because I really need 5 of Hearts. We are heartbound today, and I have been shuffling them. You've heard me. This is genres. Let's see what genres has in store for me. A horror book. Had trouble deciding and trouble finding this particular book, but I finally found the one that I was really looking for, and really my mind wants to obsess over a book. It's not going to want to read the alternative book. So the alternative book, if I couldn't find this one, was going to be Ungodly, but my mind was obsessing over The Unwelcome by Jacob Stevenson Moore. So this is the one I decided to go with, because this is where my mind was obsessing over. So I can't wait to dive in to see if my mind was right to obsess over wanting to read this book. I don't know if it's just because I couldn't lay my hands on it, or if it's because it's such a good book. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. That's just, since we're already this deep in, we might as well go on with the last 2 picks, 5 and 6. We're already deep into it, and we'll see how many of these, again, this is a guide. These are fairly some good books, so we'll see how many of these I can actually accomplish. All right, give them a good shuffle, because I've gotten a lot of hearts, so they're all reshuffled. I'll see. Was this a good choice? We'll see. 2 of diamonds. 2 of diamonds. So diamonds are a physical aspect. Maybe it was not a good choice. We'll see. What physical aspect am I going to get this go around? I may have shot myself in the foot. Okay, so we've got odd number of pages, so the book has to end with an odd number of pages. So Obsession in Death ends with page, let me go back and find it. It's devoted to death, blah blah blah. Let me get back. This ends on page 353. That is an odd number. 3 is an odd, so this fits that physical aspect. Done. Got 1. Only got 3 more to fit into the ever-growing stack. 1 more draw, and then we're going to stop. So that's going to be my +1. Here we go. Not shuffling again. See what we got. You'll know before I do what my consequence is going to be. Okay, first club of the day, Queen of Clubs. So Queen of Clubs. That is a mood read. Got a mood read in. Woohoo! Woohoo! And if I change my mood read throughout, then I will. So I'm going to mood read this one because I have been obsessed since I've learned about this book. I've been obsessive over it. So I'm going to put this in, but if I mood read something else, then I'll put it in and let you guys know when I update you at March's Deck of TBR. Or want to read TBR. So we'll put that in this place for now, but if I change it, I'll let you know. So we're going to put Hearthstone for now. So that was fun. So what the game has given me are these books. So I have Lover Eternal, I have Uprooted, Fortuna, Sworn, The Unwelcome, Obsession and Death, and then Hearthstone. Plus I have my Kindle read, which is The Pale Dreamer, which should be a very quick read. I think there are only like 4 chapters. It's a novella. Then I have Aurora Rising, which is a YA sci-fi book. So that should go fairly quickly. And then my buddy read along for this almost finishing out. I think we have 1 novella after this. The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. So that is my group read buddy read on my Discord group. So yeah, that's all of the books. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Total of 9 books. Kind of am very ambitious with my reading state as is. I think I've read maybe 3 or 4 physical books and then a couple audiobooks last month. So this again is a guide. I don't punish myself. I'm getting my mojo back into being able to read and have the stamina to read. But a lot of these books I'm really excited about, so I'm hoping to get through more of them. If I can get audio immersion books to go along with the physical books, then I can read them faster. I'm right now at a 1.5 speed, and I can go up to a 1.8 if I'm pushing myself, but then anything higher than that I just can't comprehend yet. But yeah, so 1.5 is a pretty steady pace for me. I think I found an audiobook for this one, so this should go fairly quickly, but I don't know if I can adjust the speed because it's just an online version of it. But I don't think I can up the speed, so I'll need to get on it as soon as I can because it's going to go at their pace, not my pace. But it's a free one, so I'm not going to complain about that. But yeah, so I cannot wait to dive into these books and see what I think about them this month. Give me an emoji or give me a comment down below, an emoji that represents any of the books that you have read, that represents something about the book that you enjoy. Leave me comments down below. Have you read any of these books? Or let me know what you are getting into for the month of February. And until my next video, you guys, happy reading as always.